John and Nick from the Rockstar Principals are here to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. We all have lots to be thankful for in our lives, so take some time today for those blessings of gratitude and enjoy your turkey, stuffing, green bean casserole, pumpkin pie, and more. Rock on.
Welcome to the Rockstar Principals Podcast, coming straight to you from Rock and Roll USA, covering the latest and greatest in educational leadership trends, news, and awesomeness for principals all over the world. Now, here are your hosts, the boss, John Ross, and the doctor of proctors, Nick Indeglio.
Welcome back to Church of Whitaker.
Impressive work. Impressive
Thanks.
work by you.
I have so much to learn from you. I'm trying. I'm just in your shadow, my friend. But it is time, once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the Church of Whitaker. Working through the 18 things that great principals do differently by Dr. Todd Whitaker. We are up to number 14 in our count up to the 18 things. Number 14, great principals understand high achievers, are sensitive to their best teacher's needs, and make the most of this valuable resource. That's deep.
It's really
That's
deep.
deep. That's deep, my friend. I tell you, to me, this is really, it's kind of the next step of the whole what will my best teachers think. It's the next level of that in terms of, well, it's number one, I think it's kind of combining students and teachers. When you talk about high achievers, you can be talking about kids and about teachers.
Absolutely.
And you have to keep in mind, you have to know how the high achievers work, how the high achievers think, how they want to be challenged. Most high achievers are that way for a reason. They're very self-critical. They're very self-motivated. They a lot of them never think that their best is good enough. They want to push themselves harder and do more. And you need to understand that a lot of these folks, adults and kids, push themselves way harder than you could ever push them. So you need to walk gently around them. You need to make sure that, while they're doing a great job, you want to recognize that they're doing a great job. You want to make sure that they're challenged, but you don't want to push them too far. You don't want to get them to the point where, they're questioning themselves that whether or not they're doing enough. Because I think you could really turn them off. You could get them to the point where they're either burned out, or they feel as though that they're not adequate and they're not good enough. And the second part of that is obviously making the most of this valuable resource. And again, kids and teachers, those high achievers, you want to use them. You want to have them as a sounding board when they're kids. Bring circles of kids together, your best kids, all of your kids really. But why is it? What's different about your best kids? What can your best kids do for you? They can be mentoring some of the kids that are struggling. They can be tutoring some of the kids that are struggling.
Peer tutoring.
So it's a great resource, and we're both fortunate that we do have a large number of high achievers, both in terms of our staff and our kids.
I think the two contributing things I would send to this segment would be, one, I think a good example, the one I think of when I'm trying to recognize the sensitivity that's necessary for our best teachers. I look at this as, imagine if Bruce Lee had been a teacher. If Bruce Lee was on my staff, he would be the most driven, unstoppable force of nature out there. I mean, I couldn't make him better. All I could do is pave the way for him to be successful. I could remove the obstacles out of his way so he could do the things he needed to do. That's what I would have to do for someone like that. And for our good teachers, a lot of that's what we have to do. We have to make sure the minutia from central office doesn't slow them down. We have to make sure the roadblock teachers and the roadblock staff don't slow them down. So it's a balancing act. I think on a lesser scale, a contributing factor to that also is what we do for our staffs. And we talked about this in an earlier episode too. If our staff member, a good one, needs to leave early, pick up their kid's sick, or they got a doctor's appointment, we let them do that, and we don't get in the way of that. And I think for principals, a lot of times what happens is, I think we can get frustrated by the things that happen with the unions and the associations sometimes when, they stick it to us on little things, and it sometimes make us stubborn, kind of like we want to stick it back a little bit. But we've got to be bigger than that. We've got to take the ego out of the equation, and we have to make sure that we remain sensitive to our best staff's needs. And you touched on the students. I'm not gonna elaborate any more on that.
But and you also, in thinking about you're those high achievers and the resource that they are. I mentioned about the students and the staff too. Have teacher leaders doing presentations at faculty meetings. Put teacher leaders in front of parents. Put them in positions for success. Put them in positions for exposure, and give them the credit. Let me say that again. All of the credit, 100%. I don't care if you did something completely 100% on your own that was spectacular and wonderful. I'd be curious to hear that anybody ever did that as a principal. But even if you did, anytime you do anything, anytime your school gets any positive recognition, you have to say we. You have to, and even
we've talked
them,
about this.
say them. They get the credit. Give those people the praise that they deserve when they do those things, because you'll get back tenfold that kind of effort from them when they hear that recognition coming from you.
And when things go bad, and when things don't go right, or if one of your good people does make a mistake, you take responsibility for that, and you're going to get 10 times more capital and more effort down the line by relieving the stress from those good people.
Sure.
You know what one flip side to this is, though, and I think it probably is worth mentioning, is that our best people, we tend to lean on them too much sometimes, and they tend to volunteer to do too much sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think there is an art at some degree of learning when enough's enough and when to say no. Like, when have you gone to the well one too many times?
Right.
And with your greatest people, it's going to be a tough call because it's hard to do.
It really is.
They take it all on. But I think it's worth at least considering or thinking about.
Yeah, it is a fine line, because you're right. Those folks will just go again and again to the mattress for you, and they'll do whatever that needs to happen in order to help your school be successful. So I think that's part of understanding, as Dr. Whitaker says here. Understanding them and who they are, and making the most of them and what they can bring your school.
Just as an aside,
yeah,
the saying, he went to the well one too many times.
Yeah,
big in the world of professional wrestling.
That's true.
How many times have you seen, right? Stinger goes for the Stinger splash in the corner. Right. Mm-hmm. He connects the first time. Then he goes for it the second time. Yeah. The guy moves out of the way.
Right.
He went to the well one too many times. But here's my question. In real life, if you have a well, can you ever go to the well one too many times? Where does that come from, that saying?
Well, does the well ever run dry? Would you think that you go to the well one too many times? That's what it means. It runs dry. If you go to the well too often, you use up all of the water, and then there's
wells run dry?
I think it's possible.
I thought wells, I guess they can dry up, maybe?
I think so. If you're in a dry time where the rain slows, I never lived off of a well, so I don't know.
If you're listening, went to the well one too many times, let us know. Can a well actually run dry?
All right, so there you have it. Number 14 of the 18 things that great principals do differently from the Church of Whitaker. We are getting close, my friend. We are 14 down.
I know, it's hard to believe.
4 to go. 4 left. We're gonna have to come up with a new plan. We're gonna follow up Church of Whitaker. We may have to consult Dr. Whitaker as to who he would recommend we stalk next. But he will always be the first. He will always be our first stalking for the Rockstar principles. So we will never forget everything that Dr. Whitaker did for us.
He didn't break up with us. It's okay.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I was tearing up there a little bit.
I just realized this. Boyz II Men, a local Philadelphia group.
Yeah.
Their song, "The Water Runs Dry." Is that like the well running dry?
No. Well,
let's don't wait till the water runs dry.
You have a beautiful voice.
We might watch our whole lives pass us by.
Yeah, it's not that beautiful. All right, people are turning off their podcast. All right, we'll be right back with the Rockstar Principles podcast.
I wonder if we can get them on the podcast.
Motown Philly back again. All right.
And now a word from our fake sponsors. but we'd really love if they were our real sponsors. Seriously, we would love it.
Let us all bow our heads and give thanks. We are so thankful for this Thanksgiving dinner we are about to eat. Except the stuffing. I can tell by the smell that it's not stovetop. Please don't punish this family by giving them the plague, even though I did wait all year for the one day that I could enjoy delicious stovetop stuffing, only to have their incompetence ruin this precious holiday. Okay. Wow, this looks amazing. Who wants a roll?
A Thanksgiving tradition all across America is The Wizard of Oz, formerly on network television. So, for your listening and enjoyment, a performance of If I Only Had a Brain and If I Only Had a Heart by Mike Indeglio and Jen Babiak. This was recorded live at the Yip Harburg Foundation to celebrate The Wizard of Oz's 50th anniversary. Enjoy, and happy Thanksgiving.
Should be on his mettle, and yet I'm torn apart. Just because I'm presuming that I could be kind of human if I only had a heart. Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. Just to register emotion, jealousy or devotion, and really feel the part. I would stay young and chipper, and I'd lock it with a zipper if I only had a heart. Picture me about the knee, above a voice sings low. Wherefore I now only know I hear a beat. How sweet! I would not be just nothing, my head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. And perhaps I deserve him, and be even worthy of him. If I only had a brain, if I only had a heart, I'd unravel every reel.
Thanks for helping RSP top the charts in the Edu podcast world. Keep it real with Twisted Steel and School Appeal.